So this video is to help parents of high school students or high school students themselves kind of navigate the waters during this time of quarantine and coronavirus and its impact on college admissions and college applications. So in this brief video, I'm going to discuss a few of the bigger topics that people are worried about, and I'll also mention an additional YouTube video that hopefully will be helpful to students in regards to doing their college research, which is a very good to-do item while there's a little bit of extra free time for students. And again, I hope this information is helpful. It is probably going to change. As of now, it's March 20th of 2020. And so as things change, I'll try to keep it updated. If you are a client, you're going to be receiving obviously the most regular updates. If you would like to receive updates from us, please just contact us on our website, which is brightfuturesllc.com, and we'll get you added to a mailing list. Otherwise, just listen in and take notes on anything that matters to you. So let's talk a little bit about SATs, ACTs, and AP exams, because that seems to be a really big concern right now with all the retest dates and canceled tests, and students and parents are wondering what's going to happen next with these things. We actually have some resources on our website. If you'll go to brightfuturesllc.com, which I have here in front of you, you can click on resources and then go to helpful links, which will then take you here, and you click on websites. And you'll see here that we have listed some direct links to the websites regarding these subjects with the most up-to-date information. So you're of course welcome to click on these and see what is happening with each of these items. Let's talk a little bit about AP exams. You clicked on the link that says AP exams, it will take you here to a College Board website, and this is the most recent update they have available. You'll see that they are currently working on creating both virtual learning so that students can keep up to date with their AP information of what they're testing on, and then they're also creating or developing a way for students to take this test virtually, because when they surveyed, it said about 90% of students still wish to take the AP exams. So they're going to be working on kind of rolling out those new procedures. And for any of you who know people or who are people in a rural or low-income community, or maybe you just don't have as much access to internet or virtual opportunities, they are going to be trying to coordinate efforts to make sure those students do have the opportunity to take the AP exam. Let's now jump over to the SAT and talk a little bit about that. So for the SAT, the most recent cancellation was, of course, this March 14th, 2020 testing date. Students were not able to take that. And they also canceled, I believe, the May SAT and SAT subject test day. So the next one in line is June 6th. They have not yet canceled that. But again, if they do, you are not automatically registered for the next upcoming test date. So make sure you're keeping up with your email, not just to check of whether your school or the location where you're taking the test has been canceled, but also to register for the next test date that you are able to attend. And then now I'm going to jump over finally to the ACT. Now here we see the ACT website, which again is linked through our website. And for the ACT, their next test date that is open and available still is going to be on June 13th. So again, if your testing date was canceled, make sure you register for that June 13th test date. You will receive a refund if you are not able to take it or not able to, if it's canceled and you cannot attend a future test date, they will offer you a refund. But again, June 13th is the next one. They may cancel it. Fingers crossed that they won't, because I know it's stressful for students to have to keep re-registering and changing their schedules. But this is going to have the most up-to-date information in regards to those things. So what's going to happen with college admissions and college applications if the tests keep getting postponed? I know that's a really big question for a lot of parents and students. First of all, for seniors, for those who are trying to take a test that they needed in order to actually start college in the fall, for one, I would continue to be in contact with the admissions people at any of the universities that you're either waiting on an answer from or have already committed to or been accepted to. Keep in contact with them. They are aware, of course, of the situation. This is a national issue in terms of testing dates, if not global. So they're going to be most likely very flexible and able to offer you different options of what's possible if you're not able to take that testing date or that test on time. For juniors who are looking at taking an SAT, ACT, or AP exam and needing that score in time for the fall application, again, a lot of universities are going to be, they have already communicated that they're going to be flexible. We might see deadlines extended for applications so that students have time in the fall to take either their first exam, their first SAT or ACT, or even take a secondary one in order to get a super score. So I think a lot of colleges are going to be, again, communicating those different deadlines, those different requirements. I know that for SAT subject tests, some schools are removing those requirements. MIT just announced that they are they're not going to be requiring the SAT subject tests. And then I know other schools have gone test optional. Now, what's test optional? It's like it sounds. It means that a college does not require a test in order for them to process your application. Instead, they're going to look at your student resume, such as your extracurriculars, what you've been involved in. They're going to look, of course, at your transcripts, at what classes you've been taking and what you're interested in and how you've been challenging yourself. And then on top of all that, you can likely expect an interview with an admissions person. Usually the interview and the essay is just to give them a sense, again, of your character and your interests, and usually why you want to attend that school in particular. So Case Western actually is probably the most recent one that has gone test optional, which is great because it's a more selective college, and we're hoping that other selective schools and more follow that process and eventually become test optional or test flexible, meaning, again, that a test such as the SAT or ACT is not required in order to complete an application. Canceled campus visits and summer programs have been a really tough subject to talk about, but we're going to talk about it a little bit and what we can do in the meantime. So most seniors who had canceled campus visits were depending on those to make their final decisions. They're wondering what they can do now. Some alternative options that I would recommend is both looking at the virtual tours and virtual options that colleges are offering. If you go on my YouTube video I have, it does a how-to of how to find those virtual options. But another possibility is reaching out to admissions officers. Your admissions counselor, who you've likely been in touch with, will probably have different opportunities for you to get to know the campus a little better. One of my favorite ways is to have students reach out and ask to connect with students currently at the university. So not only does it let you talk to students who can give you some really good feedback, but it potentially could even be someone that you're going to connect with in the coming school year. And knowing that there's a familiar and friendly face on campus can be really great. It lets you know if you're a good fit. Beyond campus visits for seniors, we have campus visits for younger students who are, again, looking forward to these to get to know a little bit more about the colleges themselves. So if you had a campus visit canceled, do what you can to try to reschedule it. But otherwise, again, don't forget to register for things like webinars and informational sessions. And don't be afraid to reach out to the admissions counselors on the website. Again, on my YouTube video, I do go through a how-to of how to find that information on the websites or the different options on the internet. to give you those possibilities. For summer programs that have been canceled, such as mission trips or study abroads, if this was your last summer to do it before application season, unfortunately, it looks like you may not have another summer to do that. However, that does not mean it should stop you from reaching out and seeing what you can do to connect with people in a different way. A really big part of a lot of summer programs is, exploring interests and connecting with, different cultures, learning more about ourselves. There are still ways to do that. I would encourage you to go online. It's your friend right now. Go online and see how you can connect with people even in different countries and learn a little bit more about their culture. For those of you who are more interested in, again, exploring interests or maybe even getting a part-time job, just learning some new skills, look at what's needed around you in your community. I know we can't necessarily just go out and find a part-time job right now due to restrictions, but talk to your neighbors, talk to your family, the people who you feel safe around, who you're close to, and see what is needed. You might find that your next door neighbor, the elementary school teacher, could really use help scanning in lesson plans, or maybe needs help grading math papers because they're a little overwhelmed right now. Maybe the senior citizen, again, down the block who you feel comfortable and safe with, and for health reasons, perhaps they need a little bit of assistance learning how to virtually talk to people. Maybe they want to talk to their grandkids and don't have an opportunity to visit. Teach them how to do that. That is something that looks great on a college application. It shows that you committed to staying connected, committed to serving your community, and not just completely using the time to focus only on yourself. Although, again, there's something to be said about using this time to get to know yourself. So if you are looking to explore interests, I would really encourage you to do that in a safe manner. So whether it's art or learning a new language, again, learning about different cultures, learning a skill such as coding or Microsoft Office or Photoshop, photography, use this opportunity to really delve into those things that you maybe now have time for that you didn't earlier. Again, keep note, keep track of what you're doing, and then when it comes time for college application season, then you'll get to tell that story either through the application or maybe even in your essay. So just keep that in mind as we go through this time. Let's talk a little bit about college research. First of all, who should be doing your college research? Is it your college consultant, your school counselor, or your parents? Or is it you? I'll give you a hint. It's you. It's really important that you're the one to do your college research, because ultimately it's your choice of where to go to college, and you need to know that it's the right choice for you. 3 really important reasons of doing college research is 1, it keeps you informed. 2, it helps you set goals. And 3, it helps you create an opinion, which I know we really like to do. If you actually want to know or see the how-to of how to do college research, kind of in a step-by-step process, or explore how to do campus visits virtually or in person, you can go to my little YouTube video and check it out. I walk you through it in that video. But overall, however you decide to do your college research, I really encourage that you do it intentionally. Don't see it as just another to-do item. Try to really see it as a way of delving in a little deeper into kind of the next exciting journey in your life. Another really important part of this update that I wanted to discuss is online learning. With a lot of classrooms switching to virtual options and teachers sending assignments and lessons on different types of apps and websites, I think it's really important to come up with the right work environment and the right mindset in order to do things as productively and as high quality as possible. So while I'm not a teacher, I do work from home, and so I hope I can give you a little bit of advice that will help. As far as creating the right work environment, you really want to do your best to find a place where you avoid distractions. no matter how cute the distractions are. And you also want to find a place that is relatively quiet and without a lot of interruptions and noise and chaos, because that's really unhelpful to a learning environment. So if you can find those two things, then you're off to a really good start. And the next thing we'll talk about is mindset. So mindset. When I talk about getting into the right mindset for working from home, that can mean different things for different people. For me, it's time management. To get into the right mindset to work, I have to really work on my time management, meaning I gotta set aside time in my calendar to actually work on specific things. I can't be general. I can't just put 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm going to do work. That never works out because I don't have anything prioritized. I don't know what I should be working on. And 4 hours of work, that's actually a really long time. So when we're out of school and we're not forced to do things that way, we tend to like to break things up into chunks, or at least I do. I like to work for an hour or two and then take a break, eat lunch, drink coffee, talk to my friends, well, on the phone, not in person these days, binge on Netflix because, yes, I absolutely binge on Netflix, read a book. So I do different things in my free time, and then I'll come back, work some more, maybe for, again, another hour or two. Maybe I'll set aside 30 minutes for a short task. All these things are notated on my calendar. I use Google Calendar. Some of you might use alarms on your iPhone or use iCalendar. Others have those really pretty like spiral calendars where you have highlighted things and your handwriting's beautiful. That's not me, but we all have to make do with what works for us. So again, my mindset looks like time management. For other people, it might look different. Maybe you're someone who likes to make lists and you like to prioritize things and you start visualizing the work ahead that's coming up. Again, for those of you who like to actually write in a physical calendar, that's probably you. Still others, you need to think about the goals that you're trying to achieve. Whether that's college admissions or getting an A or studying for AP exams and what it will feel like to get a really great score on those things, you have to get into the mindset of what goals do I want to achieve and what are the steps I need to do to take them, because most likely those steps do not include, binge watching Swamp People for the 3rd season for the 3rd hour in a row, which might be what I'm doing right now. But probably not conducive to those of you who have, really great academic goals to meet. So again, mindset looks different for different people, but it is necessary for learning from home. If you have any questions or can't figure something out, maybe you can't figure out how an app works, or the site you keep trying to use isn't working, you're not getting your lessons, don't just kick back and relax. Reach out to someone, reach out to your teacher, reach out to a friend in the classroom. Don't feel dumb just because you can't figure it out. I promise that there could be a whole slew of reasons why the certain app or website isn't working for you. And if there's a glitch in the system or something wasn't explained well, or maybe a certain browser like Firefox or Chrome doesn't work with it, that's something your teacher really needs to know. So reach out if you have any issues, and if you're confused about deadlines, grades, you need expectations cleared up, again, reach out and ask. This is the first time for a lot of teachers to be doing this. They don't necessarily know what types of rules and expectations and guidelines to put. And the more input and feedback you give them, the better they can make it for you and for other students. So again, work environment, mindset, those are the two things that I would recommend you make conducive to your work style, and that way you can get things done and finish off your grade year really with quality work and in the right way.